Well, hello. This is Sergio Saya, and I am your host, the host of Real Estate Reality. I'm coming to you today from our beautiful studios here at Long Island MacArthur Airport, where, by the way, they're doing a ton of construction. I can't believe how much construction they're doing. I think they're expecting 747s, those big, huge jumbo jets to come down. And anyway, so I'm out here at 103.9 on your FM dial, and I have the great fortune. I am very lucky today that I have my daughter with me. And Samantha, say hello.
Hey, Dad, I'm glad to be here. Do you know what today is?
I don't, but I'm afraid that you're going to tell me.
It's National Daughters Day, and guess what? You're here with your favorite daughter.
Wow, my favorite daughter here in Ronkonkoma. I got it. Well, you know, I know between you and your mother and your sister, I really have to watch out what I say. I get it from all angles. Even our pets were females. But all right. So, Samantha, I will be breaking down the real estate market for you, the listeners, driving home today or driving to work. So we'll be here every Monday at 5 p.m. and hopefully making your drive home a little bit more interesting and pleasant.
Yeah, I'm here to kind of make sure that you don't say anything wrong. You know, I'm also a part of HR department. Let's not forget that.
Wow. Something wrong. I've been doing this for 39 years. You know, I know a little bit about real estate and talking, but let's talk about today's topic. It's FSBOs, homes that are for sale by owner. FSBO is an acronym, and it is exactly that, for sale by owner. You know, I remember years ago, I was with this trainer at Merrill Lynch Realty, which is now defunct, but he was a great trainer. And he used to say all the time, FSBOs. FSBOs doesn't stand for sale by owners. It stands for frustrated sellers batting zero. Huh. And I used to say, why? Why, Joe? And he used to say, well, because, you know, like, these people have their homes on the market and they're overpriced. They don't know how to price these homes, and they just are frustrated, and that's why they need us realtors. So, but anyway, let's get on with the show. Today's topic is for FSBOs, and we will analyze the do's and don'ts of selling real estate without a real estate broker. The pitfalls. FSBOs are usually ignorant, or they just ignore the fact that real estate brokers are the people that are really, really making you money. Where have you been? I mean, right. we get people $50, $60, $100,000 more than the list price. And they just, somehow they don't understand that they're leaving so much money on the table. So today's show is about dispelling that myth. So hopefully, let's start talking about our qualifications and experiences so that we get to know each other a little bit better. And Sam, why don't you just tell us about yourself a little bit?
Well, I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I've been officially working with you for 7 years. Unofficially, I guess you could say I've been in the car seat with you, going on listing appointments as a baby. So I have a ton of knowledge since probably before I could walk. Let's say that. I also do investments, and I basically run the office, as I've mentioned several times to you before.
Wow. So you run investments?
Yeah.
Who taught you how to invest?
Okay, I'll give it to you. It's you. Oh. Fine.
Yeah, you know what else you did, Sam? You destroyed my GT 2000 when it was brand new.
Why do we have to talk about that?
Well, because, you know, it's not funny when you vomit in my car, and, you know, I know it's gross, but, you know, I had to total that car to make sure that I got the smell out of it.
That is a sore topic.
Yeah, I love that car. That was like my Ferrari when I was in my early 30s. So I guess you grew up knowing real estate, and you grew up knowing your role. And I know that you had the opportunity to go to school to do other things, but you chose real estate. So I'm really happy that you're working with us. How do you like working with us, especially with your dad?
I really like it, and I especially like it when I get to hang out with the transaction coordinator in our office, Jackie. Her and I basically run the place, and like I said, we get so much accomplished when you're not there, being the disruptor. Just putting it out there. Sorry.
I'm the disruptor?
Yeah, you know, you're like that little kid that's disruptive in school. That's you.
That's ridiculous. I don't believe that for a second. So anyway, I'm the principal broker of the Executive Group Realty. I have an office in Manhattan, and I have an office here on Hawkins Avenue in Ronkonkoma. If you ever need to reach me, because you must have the best broker to sell your house, you can reach me at 631 282-8992. That's the main office line. And I will make sure that I will sell your house and get you the most money possible in your pocket, which is generally what people want. So I got started in real estate when I was really 16 years old, and I was thrown into it because my parents, who didn't speak English, they were Italian off the boat, they like to buy properties. Your grandmother, your nonna, liked to buy properties.
Yes, she did.
But once she bought properties, she really didn't know how to handle the process. So as a 16-year-old, that learned how to speak English very early on, I used to run everything for them. I used to do their contracts. I used to do their leases.
Right.
I used to help with the attorney and landlord tenant court. So I'm doing this for 39 years as a licensed real estate broker, but I'm really into this business for a long, long time. And, I was their mouthpiece. And, I'm also an investor like you are. I buy homes, I renovate them, and I flip them. I'm a builder. I built homes from scratch. And I'm also an insurance broker. And most importantly, I'm a dad. And I'm here to solve the mystery of real estate and give you guys a dose of real estate reality. So there are people out there that are looking to sell their homes. Some hire a broker, some opt not to hire a broker.
Right.
And they think that selling a home is easy. Well, selling a home is easy right now, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can sell a home. The problem with selling a home is that you definitely don't need to hire a broker to sell a home these days.
Right. Right. Correct. So like selling a house is easy just because, there's lack of inventory. However, what most people don't understand is that a seller needs a real estate broker to keep the deal together. Things happen during the course of a real estate transaction. You never know when things are going to just hit the fan and change drastically.
Things hitting the fan?
Yeah.
Are you talking about specific things hitting the fan?
I'm not going to say anything.
So that's right. Let's say that you're successful at finding a buyer. The very next step is the inspections. What happens if there's an inspection, that you bring an engineer into your house and things are found that are wrong with the house? What happens if the buyers get cold feet? They want to walk away. How are you as a seller going to persuade them to stay within the transaction? Or worse yet, what happens if the buyer has their own broker and you're negotiating against a professional negotiator and they start negotiating against you? What type of negotiator are you as a seller? Are you one of those stubborn, take it or leave it negotiators, or, possibly lose a good offer? Are you a pushover? Are you a procrastinator? So in my opinion, having a broker represent your interest in the market is similar to having an attorney represent you in the sale of your house. You use an attorney here on Long Island. You use an attorney. Some parts of the nation do not. But here on Long Island, you need an attorney. So please don't say that an attorney does this and does that for you, because they don't.
And what happens when the appraisal comes in short? Some appraisals have been coming in short. Who disputes the appraisals? If you're a homeowner on your own, who will defend your values or position? Not the attorney. They don't do that. This is where your realtor comes in and talks and negotiates with the appraiser to get the value that you need.
Well, you're absolutely right. But also, what happens when there's open permits? Let's say, certificate of occupancy issues, out of possessions. Who's going to do that for you? Don't say attorneys, because attorneys don't do that.
Right. And lenders as well. How will you know that the pre-approval is legitimate? How do you know if games are being played? And you're certainly not going to get the information from the buyer's lender. As a realtor, we know the right questions to ask the lenders, and it's because we work with them on a daily basis.
Yeah, look, folks, according to the National Association of Realtors, the National Builders Institute, realtor sales account for 90% nationwide. 90% nationwide. Okay. Is that by accident? No, it's not by accident. It's because realtors have a network. Realtors have the resources necessary to make sure that your transaction goes through. And if you want to talk honestly, realtors have a stake, because realtors make a lot of money off of that transaction, but they don't make as much money as people think that they make, because that commission is split up in so many different ways. They have so many expenses. So let me lay it out for you. So number one, realtor net homeowners more money in their pocket. I mean, where have you been? If you don't know that houses are selling 30, 40, 50, $100,000 more than list price, it's like, come on, man, where's your head at?
Yeah.
That's just silly. Number two, realtors are necessary to the transaction because they expedite, they facilitate any issues and that can arise from municipal issues, like open permits, certificate of occupancy. People love putting a new deck. They love putting a patio. They don't ask for permits. They renovate their home. They add things here and there. Those are the municipals. And you know what? They come up on title. So when we come back from this break, we are going to be talking to you about more information on for sale by owners. And we'll make sure that after the show, you are totally educated and you know exactly what steps to take when you're hiring a realtor, if you're not hiring a realtor, and what is the path that will help you get to where you want to get this fastest amount of time possible. We'll be right back. All right, we are back at 103.9 Long Island News Radio. And we are at MacArthur Airport. I really would love to be leaving here, leave this crappy weather behind.
Welcome, if you're just tuning in. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, we were talking about municipal problems that homeowners have when they're trying to sell a house on their own. And that's concerning because if you don't have the right agent or if you're doing it by yourself, you don't have the right combination of diligence. Okay. So when you sell a house, you need to have all your certificate of occupancies, all your permits closed. You need to have a clear title. You can't have judgments. You can't have liens on your house. And you know what? Again, that's what a realtor does.
But why are those things necessary to know?
Because it'll stop the closing. You won't be able to close.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, the title company. Sometimes the lenders will have a problem with that. Not all lenders, but definitely the title companies, the sellers. I mean, the buyer's attorneys will have a problem with that.
And not many for sale by owners understand that and know how to navigate that.
Yeah, they don't have the resources, man.
Right.
So let's start with number 3 again. When a house doesn't appraise, a realtor is the one that disputes that appraisal. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
I sure do.
Yeah. So what is a homeowner going to do if the house doesn't appraise? What are their options? They don't have any. You know why? Because the homeowners have zero resources available to them. The attorney doesn't do that.
Right.
So the realtor will dispute the appraisal. What we do, and this is very, very important to understand, is that we will go to the appraiser and we will talk to them. We will try to persuade them by showing them comparable homes. And let me explain something to you how the appraisal process works. The appraiser comes in and they look at comparable homes that have sold within sometimes a half a mile, within a 1 mile, sometimes when they can't find enough comps, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they go back 6 months, sometimes a year when they're really having difficulties in finding these comparables. But one of the things that people don't know is that appraisers, they bracket the comps.
Yes.
Okay. So bracketing is that the appraiser takes a comp that is higher, superior to your home, a comp that is inferior to your home, and a comp that is equal to your home. That's called bracketing. Okay. And then they make adjustments. They have values for every room. Like, for example, sometimes it used to be $7,000 per bedroom, $10,000 for a bathroom. And they assign these values to make the house equal, inferior, and make the house appraised.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a homeowner doesn't have that. They don't have access to that.
No.
So again, number 4, a realtor will make sure that you have a solid transaction. They will actually interview the lender. So I will talk to Justin and I will say, Justin, what did you do? Well, I really don't have to ask this to Justin because really, Justin is really competent from Contour Mortgage.
Yes.
But if it's a lender that I really haven't dealt with, I'll give him the 3rd degree. I want to make sure that my homeowner is represented well. Right. I want to make sure that we do the right thing for the homeowner, and we do the due diligence, and we represent them well in the marketplace.
We always have our clients back.
Right?
Yeah.
So we'll ask the lender, how did you arrive at this? Did you pull credit? Did you get tax returns? Did you get stubs? Did you get W-2s?
These are the right questions. We know what to ask them, and they won't know that.
Right. Number 6, when an engineer comes into the inspection, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but the engineers are charging, the inspection. They used to be called engineers, by the way, and they used to have to be engineers.
Right.
Now they're called just inspector. They go for a certificate, which is great.
Yeah.
I love John Stelzer. He's a great inspector, and I use him on all my
Shout
transactions.
out to John.
Yeah. So they charge $600-$700, and they have to make sure that they justify that fee.
Right.
So they're going to look at everything. And you know what? When a first-time home buyer looks at these reports, have you ever looked at one of these reports?
Yeah, I have.
They're crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, you look at these reports and they have these graphs and this stuff like that. And, they get scared. Who's going to hold their hand? It's going to be one of us, right?
Every time. And let's see, a lot of them also talk to the attorneys because they think that the attorneys are the ones to go to. Isn't that right?
Of course.
And what's funny is that not many people know that they should be using a real estate attorney, not just any attorney that maybe is in the family or is a friend or someone passed down because someone else used them. That's what many people think, that having an attorney is very important. Don't get me wrong, but they don't handle these types of issues that we handle. We have market trends. That's what we look at, right?
Yeah, we look at market trends and we make sure, when our transactions go directly to the attorney, when we write the deal sheet, when Jackie sends the deal sheet over to the attorney, our transaction coordinator, Jackie, right?
Yeah.
When she sends the deal sheet, she has all the information ready to go.
Right.
What accompanies the deal sheet is usually all the documentation that the attorney needs. The public records,
right?
The any COs,
right.
The previous title search, and the previous contract and the deed.
Right.
Okay. So now the attorney has all this information. What they do is they have a template that they fill out.
Yep.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
You don't burden an attorney with all the other minutia that goes on in a real estate transaction.
Right.
That's for the realtor to do. That's the realtor's job to take care of that stuff. Okay. So, I'm not sure if you know this, but what's going on right now, mortgage defaults and credit card defaults are coming up. They're at an all-time high right now.
Yeah.
Okay? So what that means is that the banks will start harassing homeowners.
Yeah.
And people are falling behind because of the economy.
Right.
And again, what's happening, I don't know if you were around this, but back in the 80s, they were lending 100% loan to value. They were giving mortgages for 100%. In other words, you had to have no skin in the game. Okay.
Wow. That was before I was born. Just so you know, I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, I know. And what happened was this started a bubble, and the bubble got bigger and bigger and bigger until it blew up in the 2000s.
There you go. I know that part.
And people could just walk away from their homes because they had no skin in the game. They had no equity. The equity went away. And they moved away. So what we're going to do is next week, we're going to be talking about foreclosure and foreclosure defense. And when foreclosure is not an option. In other words, when you're straddled with debt and you need to save yourself from foreclosure, who do you go to? Generally, people go to attorneys.
Yes.
Okay? Attorneys are great for that because an attorney can actually fight the foreclosure process, but there's processes right before that you don't need an attorney for, that you don't need to spend money. And especially if you don't have the money to pay for your mortgage, you're not going to want to spend thousands of dollars.
Right. And that's what's so interesting about this is that when that's why some people turn to doing for sale by owner, because they think they can cut themselves a break. Even when they're in that position.
Yeah, when they're in that position, they need to contact somebody like me. I'm going to give you my phone number again. I'm going to give you my personal phone number because if you're in trouble right now, if you're behind on your mortgage, if the bank is harassing you, you need to call me. My telephone number, my direct phone number is 236-8546. We cover nationwide. We help people nationwide. I have helped people in Washington State. I've helped people in California. I've helped people in, New Jersey, Connecticut, everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options. I'm going to tell you a couple of options right now: loan modifications, forbearance, obviously short sale, which is, the last possible, and then just giving up the house to the bank, and, we negotiate giving you a little bit of cash to move out of the house and, to make sure that you have some money to move out. So what we're going to be doing is the show next Monday. We're going to be talking about foreclosure, the need to protect yourself from all these scam artists. You know how many scam artists are there, right?
Oh, there's too many on this island.
Yeah. And you know what? People start getting emails. They start getting mail. They start getting these postcards in the mail. And there's people that telling them, oh, we're going to save your house. You have, this
bombarded.
amount. Right. They get bombarded. So when somebody that's legit reaches out to them and tries to help them, they do things like that. So next week, join us at 103.9, Sergio and Samantha. It's going to be foreclosure defense. And please follow us and like us. Subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at RE Reality New York. And we hope to see you next week at 5:30.
See you next week.